Alrighty, January is all about making those big goals. We're going after the long termies, guys. We're talking 1 year plus goals. That's unheard of. An ADHDer with a long-term goal. What does that even look like? But you know what? We did it, right? We made a goal. So I got all juiced up. I'm going to lose 30 pounds. But that doesn't make it automatically start happening. What does it take to get started on a long termie? Like, where do I get started? What do I do? What's going on? Well, come on in. Let's have a chatsky-poo about it. You are listening to ADHD Big Brother, the podcast for adults struggling with their ADHD and their depression and anxiety and blech. I'm your host, Russ Jones. I'm an ADHD coach, and I run the Platinum Award-winning community coaching of the same name, ADHD Big Brother. And I also have ADHD and depression. It's craptastic. Welcome aboard. Let's learn some stuff, laugh at some stuff, and ladies and gentlemen, here's some stuff. Welcome to the podcast, you guys. I really want to get into talking about chunking of the long termies. So let's get the up-toppy stuff out of the way, right? Okay, we're normalizing talking about our mental health. We're by vocalizing how we're doing, and it is not always peachy keen. I am currently in a bit of a depressive episode. Sure that kind of tracks with how the world recently burned down around me, but I dread sinking into a dark depression. So I'm hitting this as hard as I can with the tools that I have. Great walk with my buddy Brian. I'm making sure that the people I'm close to are aware of my mental state. It just means that I'm currently, I think summarize it is like that I'm currently being as cool as possible with going about 50% speed, if that. So if I were to summarize my mental health on a scale of 1 to 10, I think I'm sitting right at about a 4. Right now. Got my eye, though. I got my eye on a solid 6 to 7. Let's see if we can get there. One of the ways that I'm keeping my eye on improving is spending time in the ADHD Big Brother community. So let me just do my quick self-promo for a minute and tell you what we have going on. Maybe you'll want to join up. We never know. Okay, it is a Platinum Award-winning community because we're badass on the Circle platform, and they have a new Discover Experiences space that they've invited me into. I'm laughing because it still kind of seems weird, but I'm amongst the greats like Ali Abdaal, Jay Shetty, Brendan Burchard in terms of badass communities. That's because we have a badass community. We all know connection is great for depression, and we've got body doubling, and I do live events to connect live with folks, and it's always a mood boost for me. So selfishly, that's been amazing. And we just did a workshop on chunking down, which I'm going to be sharing about here because it was really helpful to me. We also have community members who will run events of their own inside our community. We have a complex trauma coach who's a member of our community, and she's going to host an inner child workshop for us this month. And we also have a member who created a show and tell event, which is so freaking cool. So many ADHDers are like big time creatives, and a lot of us make some cool creative shit. So he created an event in our community for us to share the neat things that we've made or that we're working on. It's so much fun connecting in that way with fellow ADHDers. I love it. But the big offer situation that I'll just put out there is back in December, I ran a $10 for 10 days in the community, and it went so well. We had like almost a 50% conversion rate of people, quote unquote, testing out the community to people realizing, oh shit, Russ isn't messing around when he says this place will absolutely help you get your shit together. So if you've got items on your to-do list that you've been putting off forever, join up and we will help you cross those items off. It is doable. So anyways, I decided to keep that $10 for 10 days up and running for now. I don't know when I'll pull it. I still go off my whims on these things, so I don't have a countdown or any kind of forced urgency situation. I hate that shit anyway. So if you ever want to try it out, just jump on in. And the beauty is, after the 10 days, you just automatically are removed. So there's no like $10 and then you auto pay for the whole thing. No, it's 10 days and then you're done unless you decide you don't want to be done. And then if you're someone who wants more of a group coaching type dynamic, I've created the Consistency Crew that takes 7 people max per group, and we meet on Zoom once a week, and it's meant to be accountability on steroids. You can learn more about that in the show notes, and it's an ongoing situation, so you can sign up whenever you are ready, as long as there's an opening. You can just jump in at any time. So now let's talk about chunking down. I think it's fair to say that most of us know what chunking down is. I'm sure you know, but I'll just offer this up pretty briefly. Chunking down, it's basically, you take your big goal and you break it down to tiny little bitty chunks, just little tiny, we're chunking it down. We're downwardly chunking. So if you're in our community, you maybe attended our big visualization. We did this big goal setting workshop, or perhaps you've read all about SMART goals, or maybe you read a book on a big vision planning and goal setting, and you got motivated to come up with a big goal. That's the first step. And I'm going to use mine as an example, just as the frame of reference for all this. My big goal this year for my health is to lose 30 pounds. It's a big one. Not going to lie. It's a big one. It's going to take a while. I am a skinny framed guy with 30 extra pounds right in my belly. I don't think it's subcutaneous. I think it's more of the visceral fat, which I believe is the bad kind. I don't know fucking anything about that stuff. It's just all in my belly. And I'm not that concerned with how I look. It's mostly the health type stuff. Like, my blood pressure and my energy and my mental health and my aches and my pains and my focus. I bet you, if I was 30 pounds lighter, if I was living the life of a gentleman, 30 pounds lighter, I might feel a little bit better in all those categories, no? You thinks? And 30 pounds is like a trackable number. That's why I use that. I can look at the scale will tell me the number and I will track. And I know there's mixed opinions on the number on the scale. It's no big deal for me. Okay, but just because I'm all juiced up and motivated to achieve this goal, it don't mean it's going to happen. Do you guys ever do this? You get all juiced up about a goal because you decide you're going to do it. And then maybe you just kind of jump into the middle. I'm going to just start doing bench press. You just start doing random shit to get there. And this is where chunking down might help. I'll explain how we did it in our workshop in the community, and you can do this on your own. And for you community members, if you're listening, we recorded that one, so it's on a replay. You can check that out. The way we worked on this that was really helpful was we set a timer for 15 minutes. And it's like a body double session. As we listed, we purged, we vomited every single thing that we think we need to do to achieve this goal. I like to put this stuff on a timer because it forces us to keep thinking about it. Like when that initial round of brain dump goes dry, we're like, okay, I'm done. No, it forces us to keep our brain activated and exploring. It's not about going until it's done. This is just for this exercise. It's just to purge it. You know how we'll have a billion ideas on how we're going to get to the goal, and our brain will be like, I got to do this thing, but I can't do this thing until this other thing gets done. And then that other thing requires purchasing this other thing, but I can't purchase that thing until I know where the thing goes, and I won't know where the thing goes until I get the other thing. But how can I get the thing if I don't know where the other thing is? But damn it. So we don't do anything, right? Because we're just constantly in this paralysis of can't do this until this happens. So we purge it all. The swirling tornado of to-dos, we purge it all. And it feels good to get it out of the head. And when I purge everything. I'm purging thoughts, I'm purging to-dos, I'm purging feelings, concerns, no filter. It's in my head, I get it out of my head. The exciting thing that can happen is that we get insights from the exercise. From this purging, I creatively came up with a way to view my health. This is maybe it's unique to me. Maybe you'll get a benefit out of it. I don't know. I broke it down into 4 E's, which is just random. It just happens to be eating, exercise, education, and executive function, right? What am I eating? How am I exercising? How and what am I learning so that I can make healthy choices? And how am I working with my brain to do the stuff? But we can't stop there. In the workshop that we did, after we talked shop about our big list, I got a page and a half. Holy shit. Well, we all went back in for a 5-minute timer. And during that 5-minute session, during that timer, we read over our page and a half list to extrapolate, to uncover the 10 most important things that would have the greatest impact on our goal. I like a nice short timer for this because it doesn't allow waffling of opinion, right? It creates a sense of urgency, force me to make some hard decisions. This is where you separate out the things that they seem the easiest, or the things that seem the most fun. These are the ADHD dream tasks, right? Like, oh, that one's better. But it's a black and white decision now. Is this going to have the most impact? It's a really interesting exercise, especially when our brain kind of knows what's going on here. and what might be coming. So it tries to find loopholes and reasons to justify the fun thing or the easy thing or the thing that's not truly the most effective or the most important. It is a huge challenge to be critical and definitive in this top 10. So I'll share mine. And by the way, I only got to 9. The timer ran out, had to stop. And if you know me, you know that I love quitting when the timer goes off. It is the greatest reward on a task like this. Oh, I get to quit when the timer goes off. Thank you, Lord. All right, so I'm going to share mine. And here they are. Just because it's fun to compare notes. And I'm a big transparency person, right? You know, I'm not just a coach. I'm a big brother. I do this exact same shit as you guys. I do the same work that I advise. I have ADHD. I just happen to love the hell out of self-improvement and nudging forward. And I just think it's super helpful to hear the specifics as opposed to like this big broad, like, hey, you want to achieve your goal? Okay, break it down. Break it down into smaller chunks. All right, see you later. Now, show me the work. Let's do the work. Okay, here's my 9. Number 1 is get my heart rate to 120 for 30 minutes daily. And I think that's just good ADHD advice in general, right? Like just, you got to get your heart rate up. 30 minutes seems kind of long right now, but we'll get to that. Number 2 is to stop drinking. See, that's, God damn it. That's not the fun one, but it's absolutely not doing my health any favors. So it's, ugh. All right. Number 3 is research the best possible diet for myself. Yeah. That goes in education. What might it be? I don't necessarily throw in with all those like, you know, the keto, the gluten-free, the pescatarian, vegan, high omegas. There's a lot of confident information out there from people, and it's, God, isn't it so contradictory? Like anytime someone presents me with the end all be all, like this is what you have to do. It's definitive and it's science backed. Science has backed it. If you'll notice it, science is right behind it, supporting it. It's saying, hey, we back this. And I'm like, I think science sure backs a lot of shit, doesn't it? I remember eggs have been on a roller coaster of science-backed information. It's been, I don't know if it's good or bad anymore. Anyways, so that's neither here nor there. I'm not trying to pick a fight with science. I love science, okay? Put me down as a science lover. I'm just cautiously, skeptically going to research possible diet. Number 4 is drink a gallon of water a day. That's a shout out to you, Rivka, member of the community, my go-to for health stuff. And I curse Rivka. Curse you. At the same time for this recommendation, drinking a gallon of water a day. It's so much water. I have had that on my thing for a while now, and I have not achieved success at that yet. But I don't know, you know, if our bodies are more than 50% water, I guess I'd think it would be good. Maybe replace some coffee. Maybe we replace some alcohol with some water. Oh, God. Okay, number 5 is figure out the calories that I need. Oh, that's a good one. Like I've done that before. I think this is a quick one. It'll help me keep my eye on the ball. How many calories does a guy like me need every day? Let's go to the map. Number 6 is input data. That's basically me taking my initial measurements so I can have, you know, a fun thing to follow over time. Like, how big's my waist? What's the circumference of my arms? Let's see. That might make this a little bit fun. Number 7 is create the categories: education, eating, exercise, executive function. I already did that, so that's done. Number 8 is pick 10 dinners that are healthy that I can cycle through that my kids like. That's a good one. That's something I haven't done yet, and I think it'll help me by eliminating choices. 9 is create my list of black and whites. Yeah, that goes up there with the no drinking. It's a list of things that I will not do. And I've done this before in the community for short spells, like no chips, no alcohol, no eating after 8:00 p.m., stuff like that. I will most likely, to do that one, I'll have to create a challenge in the community and get accountability support. God. But it's going to help me. So those are my 9 things. 9 things that I have determined myself are the most efficient for me. And here's what I'd love to share with you guys at this point. This is not the right way to do this. And I stand by that. It's also not the wrong way to do it. It's just a way to do this. We're only ever in service of moving our needles forward on our big plans, our big visions, big goals, whatever, Are we moving closer or are we moving farther away? Or as many of us are we just immobile? We're not going anywhere? This is just a way to get that big goal out of your head and into some steps, right? Like, so now that you can see those steps, that still doesn't mean we're going to do anything. I mean, big fucking deal. I chunked down my big goal. Who cares? This is where, okay, then we get the accountability kicking in. This is where we connect with some individuals that are working on something big themselves. We motivate each other. This is where we make commitments to each other and we support each other's efforts. Could be a spouse, could be a family member, a friend, a coworker, could be our community. But for you and me right now, let's make a commitment with each other for this week, like you and me. I personally think that the most important thing for me is to get that physical exercise every day. Ugh. So I'm going to commit to raising my heart rate to 120 for a minimum of 15 minutes per day. I know I fucking said 30, okay? Barbara? But I'm not... 30 minutes is too big for me right now. I think I'll do it. I'll go for 15. That'll be my hard and fast rule. I'm going to start off easy and I'm going to build up. So there you go. Would you like to join me? Let's just, for this week, let's just stop learning how to do stuff this week and let's make a commitment to do something. We just did the learning for the chunking down. All right. So let's take the rest of the week off of the learning and let's do. Here's something I noticed. I want to say this before I go about adults with ADHD. And this is from years of coaching and from the online community that I continue to grow. Adults with ADHD, we are not short on knowledge. We are phenomenal at the reasons why we are the way that we are. And the result is that we're exceptional at explaining why we didn't do the thing or why we can't do the thing. We could pinpoint exactly, well, this is the reason why. It's the dopamine, the lack of interest. I had no urgency. The RSD was kicking, no motivation. I didn't eat right. Sleep was way off. There's just too many choices. We're extremely able to talk about it, to talk about the why not. Which is great. It's glorious. I mean, the fact that we have the psychoeducation, the fact that we know, and at the same time, that's not the end of the conversation. There's no period at the end of the sentence. The reason why I couldn't, we need to follow that up, right? Okay, so there's the reason why I can't or I couldn't do the thing, followed by the coaching question, right? What can you do next time to overcome that reason? What is that for you? I invite you to participate. Shoot me an email, define your commitment. What are you going to be doing this week? Just by putting it out there, just declaring it with no other reason than to put it to a voice increases the likelihood that you're going to act on it. What item on your list of 10 are you going to put time into this week? And if you want to experience top rate support, I really want you to try out our community for 10 days. Treat me to a fancy latte. What's $10? What is it? A fancy latte and maybe a cake pop? And in return, I will treat you to the greatest online group of ADHDers getting their shit together and offering unrivaled support to you. And they don't even know you. Just watch, come in. You really have to experience it to get it. I'll just leave it like that. All right. I hope this has been helpful. I wish you guys all kinds of chunking down success. And with that, hope you have a fantastic week. And I will talk to you later.